Hey guys, welcome back. So we're going to be doing my reactions to Dancing on Ice week 4 and it's dance week this week. So I've written down my notes as per usual so I can remember everything that I wanted to tell you. So it was an incredibly hard week for a lot of the contestants this week, just because it's not only skating on ice, it's obviously dancing on ice and they've got more steps in their routines. Also guys, there was a skate off this week which I'll go through in a little while. So I feel like last week it just wasn't fair at all. I said that in last week's video, it wasn't fair that there was no skate off. I do feel like if there was a skate off last week, the same contestants that was in this week's skate off would have been in last week's skate off. But anyway, I'll go through that with you in a little while like I've just said. So the first couple up was Carley and Mark, and I love this couple. I think Carley is really great. She's a great skater. I think she was a little bit out of her depth this week doing the samba is what she danced to. She even admitted that it was a relief when it was over. So let me just read to you my notes. Carley danced really well, very independent, but her skating was a little bit slower than usual and it looked like she was overthinking the steps, which rightly so, as there was a lot of steps in the dance. I thought she did really well. Carley and Mark still got an amazing overall score, and I think they are definitely ones to watch for being in the final, as their scores are in the 30s week in week out. So the overall score was 32.5, which is their best score to date. So they did really well. I think the judges just kind of sensed that she was really nervous, but it was really fast paced, so I can understand why she was so nervous. Then we go on to Mollie and Sylvain. Again, I really love Mollie. I think she's amazing. They did cheerleading. I don't think that dance was the best dance for Mollie because it did put her out of her comfort zone. She even said being a cheerleader isn't in my comfort zone. So she gave it her all. You could see that she gave it her all, but you could see that she was very nervous. I've written Mollie didn't do as much skating independently, which she normally does, which affected the overall score that she got, and it showed so much this week. This was a cheerleading dance, so most of the moves were lifts. As you would expect of a cheerleader, most of the moves that they do are kind of in lifts, and it's all about this, isn't it? You know, it's like, yeah, you need to kind of take that into consideration when you're scoring them. I do think there was a little bit harsh. I think she could have got a higher score. So it's a cheerleading dance, so most of the moves were lifts. I would have definitely liked to see Mollie do a little more skating solo by herself, but again, it's a cheerleading dance and cheerleaders are known for doing lifts, so I did actually say that in my notes. Mollie did seem very nervous. It looked like she was more nervous than usual, and it was like she was overthinking the steps when she was skating. Like I said earlier, she even admitted that being a cheerleader is very much out of her comfort zone, and unfortunately it did show in the skating. Having said that, I thought she did really well. The overall score was 26, which was lower than last week's score. So that kind of makes sense because she was completely reliant really on Sylvain, because obviously it was all about the lifts and they did some amazing lifts, but we would have just liked to have seen her skate a little bit more independently, I think. But I don't feel like that was Mollie's fault, because I feel like Sylvain could have choreographed it a little bit better and put more moves in there where she was skating independently, and she would have got a higher mark. Like I said, cheerleading is all about the lifts and the high energy. I feel like she could have had a few more moves on the ice and being less reliant on her dance partner. That's not something that she had any control over. So hopefully next week we'll see her skating more independently again, because we all know that she can do it. It's just what control does she have when basically she's given a cheerleading dance and she has to do all these lifts. I mean, the lifts were amazing and everything, but again, we want to see more of her skating solo, don't we? So next week I'm sure Mollie will bring it like she has in the previous weeks. So did I tell you the overall score? So the overall score was 26. Next up was Darren and Tippy. So they skated to Buck's Face, Making Your Mind Up, and this was so cool. Bucks Fizz actually came on Dancing on Ice and actually sang Making Your Mind Up, so it was just absolutely amazing. I think Darren has got an amazing character. He's so funny and playful. It was a really, really good dance. I've written Darren skated so well this week. He skated independently and managed to keep up with Tippy. He got very low marks from the judges, which I found was a little harsh. I think the judges think he's playing it safe by doing the same moves each week and he's capable of more, but Darren doesn't choreograph the skate. That's what his professional partner is for, so hopefully next week they will bring some new moves to the ice and impress the judges. So the judges did actually say that they feel like he's playing it safe, that he's capable of so much more, you know, bringing his character to the ice, because he is a big character and he's funny as well, so he's capable of much more. He's been doing the same moves week in, week out, and they just want to see a little bit more from him. I did think he skated really, really well though. Next up is Siva and Clabera. So Siva skated so well, they skated to the waltz. It was just a beautiful dance, very romantic and just lovely to watch. Siva is another one to watch, considering that he's not skated before. He's an amazing skater and just performs so well every week. So week in, week out, he's very consistent, and he always manages to get great marks. Siva skated very well independently and managed to keep up with Clabera. The skate was in memory of his dad, which I thought was just lovely. Siva got some amazing comments. Chris said that this skate was his best to date. And Ashley Banjo made a comment that Siva holds himself so well, considering he's not a professional dancer and he should be very proud of himself. You could see that this week this dance meant a lot to him, and I'm hardly surprised because obviously it's in memory of his dad. So the overall score that Siva got was 30, which was his highest score of the series so far. Ekin Su and Brendyn, so they skated to Disco and the song was Car Wash. I thought Ekin Su skated a lot better than previous weeks. She seemed more confident. I loved her sassy "I got this" approach to the dance. It's clear she can dance. So I feel like she's a really, really good dancer when she's not on the ice. So in the intro of the dance, she was dancing really, really good, I thought. But that wasn't on the ice. It's like when she gets on the ice she loses all confidence, which is hardly surprising. They do take some nasty falls and they really do get injured. Yeah, so I put it's clear she can dance. The lifts were amazing this week. I thought Ekin Su kept up with Brendyn, and so the lifts were amazing this week, and she even brought her boyfriend to work and at the end of the routine gave him a sneaky kiss, and I was like, whoa, that's a bit much. And then I realised it was her boyfriend Davide from Love Island, because they were both in Love Island together and that's how they met. And basically what it was, because the song was Car Wash, there was like a fake prop car, and there was Davide and then there was Sylvain cleaning that car, and kind of at the end she went over and gave him a sneaky kiss. I thought that was quite cute. So her confidence has grown with each passing week that she's in the competition as well. So I do definitely think she should have got a higher mark. She also pulled a muscle in her leg, so they had to take one of the, I don't know if it was a lift, but they had to take something out of the routine because obviously she pulled a muscle in her leg and it was too painful and probably too dangerous to do it. Carried on and she gave it 110%, guys. What more can we ask from these contestants? Some of the judges' comments is that Ekin Su needed to do more solo skating and to gain the confidence in skating independently and not be as reliant on her dance partner. So yeah, that's what they said. I do feel like it was a bit harsh. Yeah, she doesn't skate as independently as some of the other contestants in the competition. But yeah, she did her best with it, and obviously with being injured as well. I mean, we can't really ask for more than that from her, I don't think. So next up is Joey and Vanessa, and they danced to the Paso Doble. I thought Joey skated really well. He just gets better with each week, and this dance is a passionate dance. The chemistry between Joey and Vanessa is clearly there. I honestly think, and this is just my opinion, so take it with a pinch of salt, guys, I think there's something going on there. Their chemistry is electric, and they're so passionate on the ice, and I know that's just the dance and, you know, being a good actor, but I do feel like there's something going on. What do you guys think if you've watched it? If you haven't watched it, you can watch them on YouTube. So all you need to do is put Dancing on Ice 2023 on, and it will bring you up all the dance routines that are on there. It's worth watching. If you like figure skating, I would highly recommend it. And then you know what I'm talking about as well each week if you watch these videos. If you're watching them, it's not my usual content, is it not? I'm so appreciative of you guys giving me the support and watching these videos. I didn't know how they would go down, and they're getting quite a lot of views, so I do really appreciate that. If it's not your thing, I also don't mind, because I am making makeup related content as well. So anyway, let's go back to the notes. So yeah, I was just saying that Joey skated really well, that this is a passionate dance. The chemistry is obviously there between Joey and Vanessa. He makes little comments each week as well. Like this week he was saying, I've fallen in love, and then he looked at Vanessa and then he went, with the ice. Yeah, I've just written, I think there's a little romance there, but that is just my opinion. Nothing has come out yet in the media. Joey doesn't have any problems keeping up with Vanessa and skated very well independently by himself. I think he's an amazing skater. Definitely one to watch. Overall score was 30.5, which was the highest score of the series so far. He's a person who week in week out gets better. So next up is Patsy, Palmer and Matt, and they dance to the Time Warp. Really fun dance this week for Patsy, and you could tell she was in her element. She absolutely loved it. So I thought Patsy did so much better. It was clear that she enjoyed the skating much more than in previous weeks. She skated so much more independently. It was almost like she was a different person to last week when she fell. She was much more confident. She relied less on Matt, and we saw what she could do solo, which was really nice to see. So we got to see what she was capable of, and she even said in like VT, she said, there's not really much more that can happen. I've already fallen on national TV. So that had been taken away, and it was like she was fearless. So yeah, it was absolutely amazing. Her overall score was 24.5, which was Patsy's highest score. So again, she's getting more and more confidence and doing better each week. Next up was Nile and Olivia. So they danced to street dance, and Nile said in the VT, he said, this is completely out of my comfort zone. Street dance is all about being free with movement, whereas I'm used to being more precise with me being a gymnast. And I have written that down in the notes, but I just wanted to say that first. With Nile, I started off by saying, I thought Nile skated brilliantly since he was clearly out of his comfort zone. He quoted that street dance was about being free with movement, and he was used to being precise as he's a gymnast. It was fast paced. He kept up with Olivia like he has done since week one. Definitely another one to watch. I look forward to watching Nile each week. He just seems to get better each week, and that's what I really like to see. I love to see improvement in the contestants. One thing I don't agree with though is the media are saying he has an advantage because he's a gymnast. Yes, he can bring certain moves to the ice that the other competitors can't because he's a gymnast, but he's not used to doing gymnastics on ice, so I wouldn't say he has an advantage over the other contestants. And why wouldn't they bring this to the ice? It makes it interesting and entertaining to watch. I don't feel like he's got an edge over the other competitors. What do you think if you watch it? I feel like they'd be mad not to put his gymnastics into a dance routine. That's what he does for a living, so why not do it? That doesn't mean he's got an advantage over the other contestants. He's not a professional skater, he's a professional gymnast. So at the end of the day, you know, he's still got to learn to put that together in a skating routine. So their overall score was 34, which was the highest score. Next up was the Vivienne, who danced to Country, the song Jolene. That song's going to be in my head now. Vivienne skated amazingly this week. It was line dancing, and that can't be easy on ice. There were so many steps to learn, but Vivienne did amazingly. Another contestant that performs well with each passing week. The overall score was 32.5. So now guys, we're coming to the end of the show, and there was a skate off like I said earlier. So in the skate off, I do feel like these two contestants should have been in the skate off out of them all. So we have Ekin Su and Patsy Palmer. Let's talk about Ekin Su. Ekin Su, it was clear in the skate off that Ekin Su was very nervous, which is hardly surprising. This is the second time that she's been in the skate off, and we're only on week 4. So in the first week there was no skate off. In the second week there was a skate off, she was in that. In the third week there was no skate off, and in the fourth week, you know, she was in the skate off. So I'm hardly surprised she was a nervous wreck, poor woman. So I've said she was very nervous, which is hardly surprising. This is the second time that she's been in the skate off, and we're only on week 4. Ekin Su did have some wobbles when she skated alone and was more reliant on her partner than when she skated earlier on in the evening. It's like she lost all her confidence. I felt so sorry for Ekin Su. She was clearly emotional and didn't want to go home. She wanted to remain in the competition. The competition is about winning, isn't it, at the end of the day? So no one wants to go home. And yeah, I just felt really bad for her. Next up was Patsy Palmer. She skated more independently by herself than Ekin Su did. And even though she was nervous and very emotional, I thought she skated very well. I thought Patsy had more confidence in her skating abilities than Ekin Su did, and unfortunately that showed. Patsy as well was emotional. She couldn't speak when asked how she was doing by the presenters. So both Patsy and Ekin Su were very, very emotional. It was quite clear that this competition is very important to them. But at the end of the day, somebody's got to go each week, and unfortunately this week, guys, it was Ekin Su. Do I think the right person went? In my notes I put, yes, based on the skate off, I think Patsy should have stayed. I think that was the better skate. Patsy just did more skating by herself, and that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. The person with more technical abilities, of course they stay and the other person goes, but I do still feel really, really bad for Ekin Su because I could see how much it meant to her. So this is the end of my reacting to week 4. I'm really, really loving doing these kind of videos. It's something different for the channel. I think I'll do it for other TV shows. If you want me to react to a particular TV show, leave it in the comments down below, or even something that you've seen on Netflix, kind of summary, and you want me to react to that, I'm more than happy to do it. But yeah, this concludes this video for now, guys. We'll be doing another one next week. I think there's 10 episodes in total, so we're getting to that halfway mark, which is exciting. So we'll leave it here for now. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to leave relevant videos in a playlist, so if you want to go and check them out, I'd really much appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys.